Hello and welcome. This is Sriram here, and today is a very special day for us. We have one of our esteemed customer, AEON Credit, Mr. Melwyn Rebeiro, with us, and we are going to have a conversation with Melvin today. Hi, Melvin. Welcome.
Hi, Shivran.
Good afternoon
Thank
to
you
you.
for
Right. So, Melvin, you know, though we know AEON Credit well, why don't you help us know a little more about AEON Credit as an organization?
Okay, so AEON Credit is basically a conglomerate of AEON Financial Services, which is headquartered in Japan. So we are a pan Asia Pacific customers across the pan Asia. Like we have customers in Japan, then Singapore, Malaysia, Cambodia. So basically, in India also is an entity of AFS, which we call as the AEON Financial Services as AFS. So basically, there are different business models across the globe, across the Asia Pacific region for us. But in India, basically, we basically look into B2C lending. That is our core business. So lending is what we do, be it for small segments, medium segments, basically into used car, two wheelers, and all those things. Like this is what we do. This is what our customers are doing, for giving the taking the services from here.
Okay, great. So, Melvin, we would also like to know how does your typical, in the role of CISO that you play, how does your typical day looks like, or how does your week looks like? What keeps your attention glued to? What are those areas that, if you can help us know a little more about that?
So a typical day is just like any other CISO's day. So the first thing we do is we look into the dashboard, a security dashboard, like see how what is the amount of attacks that we have faced, how much attacks we have blocked, and how much attacks just seeped in through, and how is the what is the best method or the best protection we can offer so such things doesn't happen or such incident doesn't happen. So that is what the normal basis we do. Plus, we also have a strategy or a plan in place to how to maximize the revenues of the budgets that are allocated to us, to build a better security posture, to build a better security posture in the organization, as well as to help the organization do better in terms of cybersecurity and awareness thing. So we also have projects, multiple projects going around when it comes to cybersecurity and hygiene. That is what we also do. But day-to-day basis, the firefighting still is on keeping the incident to a minimal and protect the company's assets and the organizations.
Oh, wow, great. So that brings me to the next question that we have got. What are your views on the recent surge in this digital transformation that everybody is jumping on to? And what benefits would your organization reap through digital transformation by adopting new digital technologies?
I think so. Digital transformation definitely is a very key role. If you are asking me in terms of the scenario, I mean, everybody knows the vital role which COVID played. COVID played a huge role in digital transformation. Probably somewhere down the line, we had a roadmap of digital transformation, but that just tracked into when COVID came in. So the plans which we were keeping for 3 to 4 years down the line, we had to fast track within 1 or 2 years down the line. So it played a very huge role for us. And I believe today everybody wants these services quickly. It's like a 2 minutes Maggie noodles sort of a thing. Like you give the service quickly, the customer is with you for lifetime. So such sort of experience, such sort of I mean requirement is what the customer demands. If you don't give them this requirement and the demand, the customer will probably move out of it. And we being to be lending company, for us every minute counts, every minute or every second counts. Like customer having a bad experience anywhere, whenever he visits the website or something like that, he will just move out of it. So digital transformation is one of the key pillars when it comes to us.
So, when you have gone into this digital transformation journey, what are those typical 3 or 5 primary challenges that a CIO faces in this journey?
So digital transformation basically, like you rightly said, is a journey. So journey has some destination, some stops to it. So one of the key thing which I remember when we were going into the digital transformation is the strategy was one of the fundamental things. Like we were still working from 9 to 5 office things, and suddenly when the COVID hit, was all helter-skelter for us. And then we decided that no, there is a better option to give the workspace directly to the end user whenever he's working at home. Strategy was one of the important thing to us. Then the second important thing was technology. You have a strategy in place, you're already having a roadmap mindset in mind, but then how do you translate that strategy into action? So there is where the technology comes into play. And the third thing, important thing which I feel along with the technology is the people. So if people don't adopt the strategy and technology, then there is no point in doing any transformation. Ultimately, it's the people who work on the technology day in, day out. They have to be satisfied with the technology that we are providing to them. So these are the three key pillars which I feel in any transformation.
What is your advice to your colleagues or peers or CIOs in the industries while they are specifically on the EDR, which is extended detection and response tools that people are evaluating or trying to adopt?
So I think so. Basically, see, everybody today understands that the technology is advanced. The next generation AV or the previous AV will not take care of the current threats. So you need to have a sophisticated sort of a tool that will take care of things. So that is where people are going to the EDR and the XDR sort of a thing. So basically, you have to have it somewhere down the line. It is now not only a preferable one, but it's a mandatory thing. If you want to defend yourself and protect yourself and your organization with the modern threats, definitely EDR is the next step to go. So when I say the EDR is the next step to go, you have to have a holistic approach as well. By holistic approach, I mean that it's not a one shot sort of a journey you go. You evaluate things, you understand what the benefit it will give to you, understand your organization's requirements, needs, whether this does do fit into my plan of actions or plan of things. Accordingly, then you take a decision. But sooner or later, you need to take that harsh decision. You need to bite the bullet, whether if you like it or you don't like it. So, so that is how the approach should be. You evaluate things, get in the management buyout on those things, because it is very important that the management buys those things, your ideas and all those things. If you have a management buyout on those things, then things will be much easier for you to travel the path or travel the journey, and the adoption will be mass wide. Like, so that is how you should do it.
Now, one question that I have in mind, that you being in a financial vertical, you are highly governed by the regulatory authorities' guidelines, right? So, how do you how do you ensure that all the compliance norms are made by your organization and your enterprise is ready to defend against any next generation threats, be it your endpoints, be it your network and overall setup?
So, like Srirang rightly you said, ki we are governed heavily by compliance. So, first of all, compliance is something which maximally gives the budgets for. Like, I mean, if I have to be compliant, I need to invest into security, and um, I need to have those tools or mechanisms in place. Compliance is major factor into it. But the other thing which I personally on my own do is do a risk analysis and assessment of things. Like if I have a tool, does it really fit the bill of things that I am working into it? If it doesn't fit the bill of thing, what is the other alternative that is there? Is the risk that is there getting covered, or do we need to have some external tools or external mechanisms to control those risks which we are there? So that is one evaluation which we completely do. It's a plan, do, check, act sort of a cycle, dimming cycle, which keeps on happening every time. You need to assess your risk, plan accordingly, deliver, monitor, and then again do the reassessment, and the cycle keeps on continuing every time. So that is how we approach this. It's not only the compliance that governs it, but also the risk that also governs things for us.
Perfect. So that leads me to a natural question that we have a long association. Now, what were your existing challenges when you, before opting for Sequretek's technology that you have been using, Sequretek's XDR and Sequretek's EDR? So, what were your challenges before you opted for these tools?
I think so, Shriyang, this is a very good and pertinent question which you're asking me at this point of time. The thing is that we already had SIM sort of a solution at our end, but I mean, if you're asking me, there was no value addition to it. So whenever I joined the organization, I needed to have something which would add value as well as protect the organization to it. So at the end of the day, protection is the first thing, but adding a value to the business and to the organization is something that matters. So when we started this journey with the, with the SIM part or the SIM piece, we already had one, but that was end of life, and I don't know like how much logs it was generating, how much alerts it was generating, to be upfront. So then we decided ki let's look at the bigger picture now. So we decided to scout vendors we decided to scout vendors who had a very huge sort of a roadmap in mind. Like we not only required SIM at our end, but we also wanted EDR, XDR on all those SIM SOAR capabilities also. That is where we were heading to. That was the roadmap which was clear in my mind when I joined my organization. Ki we need to head there, at least have better protection in place. So we scouted plenty of people. Like I mean, we had a mix and match of like a couple of vendors wherein all these pieces were available readily, or we could go to a different vendor, a single vendor who could stitch these pieces to us. Like so, again the cost would be higher procuring this solution EDR, then again having integrated with SIM and all those things. So we thought ki why not go with a single vendor who will take care of all these things at a competitive rate and budget which we have, and that is how Sequretek came into the picture for us. And we did a not only apart from the POC testings and all those things, we also did a market research and survey also. I had spoken with plenty of existing customers also who were using Sequretek, and based on that their feedbacks and other, there was like I mean 50 to 100 checklist points which I had myself made, and Sequretek pretty much filled around on all those points.
We check mark on every.
Yeah, you definitely check marked on most of the points. Like so, it was a very easy decision for me to make. See, okay, this is my requirement, and if somebody is giving the entire requirement in one shot to me, then why not go for it? That is how we try to engage with it, and I'm pretty much. I would like to say this: I'm pretty much satisfied with the services which I'm getting, and you guys are very good. Like in that, I would.
Thank you for your good words and kind words, Melvin. We really appreciate it. One question that I wanted to check with you is that what challenges did you previously have around your endpoint security before you opted to go in for Sequretek CDR?
See, previously, like I said, we were still into the when I'm talking about endpoints, we were still into the AV. That was not also next generation AV. I'm talking about. It was the normal detection sort of for AV. Like so, it did its job. Every product has a lifespan. Like I mean, we were like 5 to 10 years back on technology when it came to endpoint detection, but still did its job. But I don't know, like I mean, to be upfront, like how beautifully it did its job. So I was still in the dilemma ki whether this thing really works or is it just the compliance we are just checking on. So having said that, it was time for us to move to the next level, next generation. That is what, luckily for us, before the circular came from our head office, we were already there. We had already taken that path, and for us it was a matter of 1 or 2 months where when we assured our headquarters also that we already have in place, and they were pretty much satisfied. Okay, you are at least moving to that path. When others are still struggling to do that, we already had that intent to move at that part, and that is where I feel EDR, XDR was considering the attack landscape and the threats and all those things. I definitely feel that we wanted to go to that part other than having the next generation AV. I'm not saying that the thing which we had, the AV that we had was not doing a good job. It was doing a good job, but as time changes, as technology advances, As attacks become sophisticated, you need to take that path, and everybody has to take that path sooner or later.
So thank you, Melvin, really for your time to talk to us. We really appreciate, and we wish you really successful career ahead, as well as a safe and secure environment in Aeon Credit. Thank you so much. Thank you.